I never knew how hard it is to differentiate between those hmms and mms. But actually, a is very different from a
Oh my God. Those sounded exactly the same to my ears, Nina.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, for me, it's very different.
It's the Germany Experience, the podcast about life in Germany as seen through the eyes of outsiders. I'm your host, Sean, and subscribe to the podcast if you haven't. Go to thegermanyexperience.de/follow and pick your platform. They're all listed there for you. And also check out the rest of thegermanyexperience.de for more episodes and more information about the podcast. This coming Saturday, the 20th of March, I am going to be a guest on a live Facebook Q&A stream. Lisa Jans, who is an online coach for career planning, people development, and job applications, will be asking me some questions about my experiences in Germany with searching for jobs, as well as some other things around my Germany experience. The link to her Facebook group, which is where the interview will be streamed, is in the show notes, and it's happening this Saturday, the 20th of March at 11 a.m. And by the way, Lisa will also be appearing on my podcast in the upcoming weeks to discuss how to find a job in Germany that is ideal for you. So listen out for that. But now, our topic this week. The Germans have little sayings or gestures that they do very often, and mostly they're not even thinking about it, that they're doing these things. And some of these things that they say and do can be confusing to someone new in Germany, and even for someone who's been here in Germany for a while. And it might be things like strange gestures that they do while talking that we completely miss. We don't realize that it means something, but it could change the entire context of what they're saying with their words. Or they say certain sayings like "so" or "oh yeah." And these, while you can get to know them over time, it's something that if you're new to Germany and having a conversation, that can be very confusing. Well, Nina is here to help us understand what some of these mean. Nina is a German, and she has, of course, been on the podcast a few times before. And we have a German podcast together called Die Deutsche und der Ausländer. The link is in the show notes, so if you understand German, you can check that out and listen to us talking about some of the quirks of Germany and Germans and some fun things about our life here. As I said, link is in the show notes. But right now, here is our conversation about understanding some of the things that Germans say and do quite often. Here's Nina. So Nina, you are back on the Germany Experience.
Hello, Sean. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's like I just can't get rid of you. In fact, I think if I made
Did you want to?
No, I would never want to get rid of you. But if we made a list of like the number of guests that came on, you would be in second place. I mean, second to me only.
I was like, are you number one?
Yeah, I'm number one. But I'm not a guest. So actually, number one guest, now you.
Woo, woo, woo. Is it 3 times the charm?
3 times the charm, yeah. Or this is where you really screw it up and I get listener emails telling me, please don't ever bring Nina on again. Would never happen, Nina. Would never happen.
Let's hope not. I think I'm a quite charming person sometimes.
Yeah. Well, so you've been on before. The first time, you've got quite a history on this podcast, actually, because the first time you came on, you spoke about Fasching with me.
Yes.
Which caused controversy for at least one person who gave me a 1-star review because they were disgusted.
Because you were a hater.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with you. You were charming as always. I was a hater, am a hater. Am I sad that Fasching had to get cancelled because of coronavirus twice? No. But yes, I'm going to get more 1-star reviews. I just know it.
I'll give you a 5-star review.
Thanks, Nina. And then the second time you came on, we spoke about Deutsche Jugendwörter.
And I screwed up.
Did you screw up?
Yeah, because I'm just allegedly German.
Yeah, so I read a review that I got, a 5-star review, mind you. Actually, this is a good point. Every time you've been on the podcast, I get a review afterwards, like 1 or 5-star reviews.
It's me and my multiple personalities.
So we got a 5-star review, but he complained that you did not know in this episode about German youth words the difference between a Köftespieß and a kebab. But
we do know now.
We do know now because he corrected us. So here's the thing. You and I have a separate podcast.
Because we got great chemistry.
We got great chemistry. And yes, and we in the separate podcast we speak in German, and we talk about life in Germany, or how would you put it? Like, what is
the way you put it? It sounds like it's the German version of your podcast.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
No,
it's
it's
different.
not.
It's different.
Not. We're kind of making fun. No, not fun. We're in a light-hearted way or manner. We're discussing life here, but not from the view of like expats or like foreigners coming here.
Do we actually know what our podcast is about?
Yeah, yeah. You throw stuff at me you find weird about Germany,
Yes,
and
yes.
I try to explain things.
Exactly. So it's basically discussing life in Germany. In
Germany
German,
101.
Germany 101 in German, but we talk about things that are strange, quirky about Germany, things that I found strange.
And usually it happens, like things happen during the week, and we're like, got to talk to you about that.
Exactly. So we also talk about what's going on in our lives. And one of the things, just as an example, we spoke about life in a small village last week, in the last episode. That would have come out the week just before this episode comes out. So those are the kind of things we talk about.
Math is great.
My head math is great. So thanks. I don't think anyone has ever told me that before, Nina. So just to be clear, you are actually German. So I
am German.
Yeah, you're German. You would never say so from the way that you speak English, because it's just about flawless, but you are German.
Do I have to show my passport, or you believe me?
No, I believe you.
Okay.
But so one of the things that we spoke about on our other podcast, and it's called, by the way, Die Deutsche und der Ausländer, where you're, of course, Die Deutsche and I'm der Ausländer. And we spoke about things that Germans say, like things that they say and do. So that what we discussed was things, common mannerisms. So like gestures. So certain gestures the Germans will make, or certain things that the Germans say a lot. And I thought this would be a great thing to talk about for the German experience, because
why?
Because when you're new here to the culture, you have Germans saying these things, doing these things, and they're not necessarily taught in German class, because I think a lot of the times...
There's so little, yeah.
Yeah, and so many times Germans don't even know that they're doing these things or saying these things. So it's not like an official thing that you can learn. But when you've been here for a while, you're like, what is going on with that? So there's even to this day, I've been here for 13 years, and Germans will still do like a gesture or do something, and I'll be like,
and suddenly you're like, oh,
what is that? What is that about? So what I thought we would do, Nina, is run through some common things that I know of, some things that you came up for this for the other episode of the podcast that we did, and just talk through that and say, give an explanation for people so they know what is going on.
I'll do my very best, and I hope I'm better at it than explaining what a Köftespieß is.
Yes, apologies in advance for any signs that Nina is not actually German. All right. So I think now that we got to... Oh, and feel free to review the podcast, apparently. Either 1 or 5 stars. We're good. Either way.
But only if you follow our other podcast.
Yes. You can review this podcast and follow the podcast and review our other podcast.
And you can watch us on YouTube for our other podcast as well.
You are very good at this marketing thing, Nina. You're very good. Watch us on YouTube. I'll put all the links in the... thing. Of course, it's in German, so you have to at least speak some German, and you get to listen to my bad German. Although I feel like it's getting better, Nina. Like the more I do this podcast with you, I think it's getting a little better.
Is it the only time in the week you speak German? No, you speak German at work.
At work, in work meetings and things like that. But it's actually a good way to learn for me, because I'm forced to speak German. I can't switch over to English like I do at work.
That's true.
Yes. All right. So let's get into these things that Germans do. And remember, these are like
the first word or thing.
Yeah, and these are either gestures or like one syllable sayings, or sometimes a little bit longer. But the first one that I want to talk about, Nina, and this is one that you brought up on the thing, is Pech gehabt.
Ah, yeah.
Or selber Schuld.
I think this is a German mentality. So the translation of this is like, it's your own fault.
Yes. So you'll be telling a German something like, what's a good example?
Or let's say you had to pay €5 extra because you handed in your papers late to the Ausländerbehörde, which we know can happen.
Yes, of course it can happen, yes. So let's say in that case, you're saying, I had to pay €5, and you're telling a German, and they would say...
I would be just to go like, Pech gehabt.
Pech gehabt.
Selber Schuld.
Yeah. So Pech means like bad luck, I guess.
Bad luck.
Pech.
Ja.
Ich habe Pech gehabt, ja.
But I'm not telling you Pech gehabt because like, oh, that was just bad luck. I'm telling you Pech gehabt is like, you made your own bad luck.
Yeah, don't bother with me with things that you could have avoided is essentially what
You
a German
could have
is saying.
avoided this. This is not divine interference. You created your own bad luck.
Wow. And this is something that Nina uses a lot.
I do.
Yeah. And
I do. I'm not very empathetic.
No, if I'm looking for sympathy about something or someone to like,
that's why you're married.
Yeah, I don't get it from Nina. That's for sure.
No.
Pech gehabt. So I thought that was quite a funny one. But there's
I like it.
So that's more like a language thing, like Pech gehabt. But Germans say that a lot. I've heard it a lot.
And it's like not only language, it's a mentality thing.
It is a mentality thing, isn't it? Selber
because
Schuld.
We're honest enough to tell you, you screwed up.
So when we discussed that on Die Deutsche und der Ausländer, I was thinking like it is a German mentality, and that's the way they're like, you're not getting sympathy from them. But then I thought of something where you actually do get sympathy from Germans, and it's something that people might hear if the Germans are like trying to say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that or whatever. They go, oh yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah. So, but it's like J-E, oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I was like saying, oh yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah. No, Nina, it's oh yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. So what does that mean? That's sympathy, right?
It's oh yeah, it's like not my bad, but you poor thing.
Yeah. It's about as close to sympathy as you'll get from a German.
It's like you poor thing.
Oh yeah.
But it also expresses our inability to put our feelings into words. Because it's literally you'll be like, my grandpa's sick and dying, and I'll go like, oh yeah, oder oh weia.
Yeah, like the worst life situation that you've been in. You're like suffering from trauma, and you're going through depression, and the German will just go.
Friend just goes like, oh no, how did we get here? Why are you talking to me about this? I gotta think about something to say. Yeah. Maybe I'll get the one German that has like some kind of feelings. Let me get out of the room. I'll just say, oh no.
Oh no. And then I'm gone.
I'm out of the room. Yeah. I'm out.
Oh my God. That is, yeah. It is very German as well. I think that, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So then another one that I only thought up at the end of our episode because I accidentally said it is
oh yeah.
Is not oh yeah, Nina. It was cha. So maybe you want to explain what that is.
It's usually when there's nothing more to add.
Right. And then you go
like
cha.
I lost my job because I was sleeping the whole time.
Cha. Okay. But it could also mean like can also
I have nothing more to say. It's literally I have nothing more to say.
Yeah. So this is what's interesting to me because I have never thought of that. I hear this a lot from Germans like cha. What happened was in our call, I used it right at the end of the call because we were finished speaking and I went cha. Yeah. And without even...
You have nothing more to add.
Yeah, without even learning this, I've learned it. Like I knew the context and just instinctively knew. So I'm German, Nina. I'm pretty much German.
You're basically, one of us now. Yeah. I mean, you have the passport, so. I
do have the passport, but it's something that you have to, I think, live.
It's part of your, this is part of your Einbürgerungstest. If you don't say, tja, oje, or Pech gehabt when picking up your passport, you don't get it.
You don't get it, exactly.
It'd just be like, Pech gehabt.
They do a test and they go like, we're sorry, your passport has been declined. And then if you don't go, oh yeah, then you're not a real German. But if you do it, they like whip it out like, congratulations, herzlichen Glückwunsch.
Where did this come from?
So it's interesting how a lot of these you have to see it and live it for a long time.
You gotta feel it
before you understand it. Yeah, you gotta feel it. Then another one is a very multi-use word that can be used in a number of different ways. So the way that it's most often used to go, so.
This, like you said, it's a multi-use word. It's a filler word. You can express that you're done with something.
So like this, so. So I'll give you an
You're
example.
done with something. You're at a party. You're over this.
Yeah.
So you say, so, slap your hands on the table or on your thighs, and then you're out of there.
Yeah. And that's very German, the slap on the thigh.
This basically works as a goodbye as well. Because basically I go, so, slap the table, slap my thighs.
And you're gone.
I don't even know if I say goodbye after that. I'm like, so.
Yeah, I think you would. I think you would go, so,
I mean,
and then you get your shit, and then you go, choose.
It depends on how close you are, because usually what happens if it's more than one people, you go put your coat on, the host comes like with you, you say bye to the host, you wave into the room, and
and then you're out of it. And
efficiency.
Yeah, efficiency. And I've also seen it at work, where like if you're in a meeting and then it's done, and then you maybe have a bit of small talk, and you go, so, and then they stand up and then they're out, like they've left the room. So so and it gets used in a very awkward situation. In my home, we have a helper that comes in for my son because he's got special needs. So every now and then we have someone who's helping out. And she's sometimes in the kitchen at the same time that I'm in the kitchen. And we have nothing to say to each other. We don't have anything to say. And then, so she'll come in and she'll stand there and do whatever she's doing. And then she'll go, so. Or I'll come in and she's there and I'm going to make some coffee and I'll be like, so, and then I'm like, find the coffee. And that is literally the extent of our relationship. It's just saying so while facing the kitchen.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said it's a filler. Like,
it
works for those awkward pauses.
Yeah. And didn't you also say that you could use it to hurry people up in the episode, or am I thinking of another word?
Yeah, like, no. You can, like I say, if you're party, or let's say you're pre-drinking.
Yeah.
And then,
I love the word for it. What is it? It's a vorglühen oder etwas.
Vorglühen. I know that in Namibia they call it sundowner. I don't know about you in South Africa.
Sundowner, no, but sundowner is more like, and I think it's not just South Africa, but a drink that you would have in the evening, literally.
Like a Feierabendbier?
Yeah, it's like a nice evening, relaxing after a long day, and then you have a sundowner.
I thought it was like Vorglühen. Oh, well.
No, well, like it depends what you do afterwards, because if you like go out afterwards and you drink more, then it was kind of a Vorglühen as well.
Yeah, so Vorglühen, which is pre-drinking, pre-game.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's clubs where you got to be at the door at a certain hour.
Yeah.
Or your drunk friend's not going to get in.
Yes.
So then this drunk friend's very, very like, haha, chatty, laughing. And you're like, so, yep.
So. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. If you hear that kind of zo, it means hurry up.
Yeah. And usually it goes with the hand gestures. It's like either you're like, so... Yeah. You're clapping. It might be that you're like actively pulling the person. Depends on which stage of angry soul you are.
Okay. That's good to know. Yeah, if you've been dragged, it's probably gone too far. You probably need to hurry up a little.
Well, if you need to be dragged, I usually leave you at home.
Okay, then you're getting your ass left at home. Okay, so that was so. Another one that comes up a lot is and I think that you brought this one up, was na.
Yeah, and it's pretty similar. But na is usually more at the end of a sentence and you're looking for confirmation.
Yeah.
Or we know each other. In your kitchen example with the helper lady, if you would tell her na, she could tell you na. And you both know like, this was hello. She was asking how I was doing. We both said it in a friendly way. Now we can go our separate ways.
It's a whole conversation with just two syllables. Na? Na?
Na?
Yeah, because I remember that was when I first started. It was something that confused me when I was working in Germany for the first time. Because my boss at the time would come in, I would be in the kitchen getting something at work, and then she would come in and she'd go, "Na," and I'd be like, what am I supposed to do to that? Like, am I? So I would just ignore her at the beginning, or like say hello or something like that.
Yeah.
But usually it was like a little awkward pause where I was expecting her to say something, and then I realized no, she's like, that's a greeting. Like it's na is how are you?
It's like,
how you doing?
How are you? But for every one of you dating a German, if you come home or if you were supposed to do something and you see her like standing or leaning somewhere and just going like na. This is not a friendly hello. This is a reminder to you that you forgot to do something.
Okay. That is very
you
good
screwed up.
All right.
And if it's a very short, angry nah.
Yeah. then
you're
in trouble.
Run.
You're in trouble. That is very good to know, Nina.
To this, your best option is to say so and back out slowly.
Oh, this is a whole other level of German that you need to learn. Like you're going to learn the A1 and the B1 and the B2s, but then
they won't help you. They will not save you. No,
you need all of this other German to understand what's going on around you. So,
but like I said, this is like depends on how it's being said. Usually at work, I wouldn't say this angry na.
Yeah.
But we talked about this in our podcast. There is like 2 letters. Depending in which order, intonation, or length Germans say, it means completely different things. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm. No, I don't think I do.
Yeah, exactly that. The
oh, that.
Yeah, you did it right. So I never knew how hard it is to differentiate between those hmms and mms. But actually, is very different from a
Oh my God. Those sounded exactly the same to my ears. Nina.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, for me, it's very different.
So explain to me what the difference is between those.
Okay. Well, I think even the English people or English-speaking people, the is like a yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I do it during the podcast episodes. I often go,
Or is a no.
Yeah.
This is universal. But if you're like, asking me, we're at work, we're going to a food truck, and you're like, is 11:30 too early to eat? I'll be like, and that's like, no, it's Sean, this is a very stupid question. It's very late. We have to go at 11 because I'm hungry.
Okay.
But if you're like, can we go at 11:30? And I'll go like, I'm thinking if I have appointments.
So the first one is more like an annoyed.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
And then the is the thinking, and can also be thinking, but I'm probably going to say no. That is probably it's going to end in a no.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck out there, folks.
It's very neutral. I'm just like, yeah.
Good luck in this culture, people. That's all I'm saying.
And then the thing is, sometimes when I say it, people take it already as a yes or no. And I'm like, slow down. I'm still thinking. No, you already said yes. I'm like, no. I said, Yeah.
So I think that...
I did not say yes.
That's always the case with different cultures, because there's sometimes you can't hear those differences in intonation. You just hear what I interpret as the English or and then we're good to go. But if you're trying to, if you like automatically communicating something else, that's different.
I'm telling you, I'm thinking.
Right. That's very, very interesting and tricky. It's very tricky.
It's very tricky.
So the other one, it's quite easy to understand. But it's interesting to me because it's such a strange sound. It's something like a kid would say. So when someone surprises you with something or tells you something, you go, Boah. And it's spelled...
Is that German?
Of course it's German. It's spelled B-O-A-H. Boah. And some Germans, like some people go, Boah, like a dainty little Boah. But I've heard some Germans go, Boah, when they're really, really surprised by something. I'm pretty sure it's German.
But is this sound German?
Yeah.
Like I thought it was a universal thing.
No.
What would you do in English?
Wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah, wow.
Or whoa. Whoa.
But the sound is similar.
It's not. There's a whole B. There's a whole B that the Germans drag out. They go,
we're hard.
Huh?
We're harder than wah.
Yeah, that's not good enough for the wah. No. We need that buh. Wah.
We need the hardness to show you we're made out of ice.
Yeah. So that is
I didn't know it's a German. Yeah, it's a sound of
German.
surprise, and it can be good or bad surprise.
Yeah, it's like amazement. Like if you tell a German something that's a interesting fact, but it's completely like crazy at the same time, and then you go boah, and some people actually go boah.
I am one of those people who go boah, but this is usually I come into a room and something just happened. Like don't know. I met my arch enemy on the street, and I really want to let you know that something terrible has happened.
Okay.
I walk into the room and I'll be like, boy, guess what happened?
Okay, so that's then again different. That's not necessarily surprise. That's more just like
expressing your excitement.
Boy.
But bad excitement? Would I say boy? No, I would never use boy for good excitement.
Really? Okay. Well, I didn't know
Maybe
that.
I'm just a negative person.
Boah. Yeah. So there you go.
I didn't think that was German.
Yeah, it's definitely German. Well, I can't say for the other European countries and what they do as a sign of surprise, but it's definitely not English. We wouldn't put that B in the front.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
No. The other thing comes with a gesture, and it's something that we've spoken on the podcast with, or that I've spoken on with other guests when we speak about idioms and stuff, is when they do the gesture for drücken den Daumen, when you wish people luck, you put your thumbs into your fist like that and you hold it tight and you say, ich drücke dir den Daumen.
But I'm so anglicized, I actually cross my fingers.
You cross your fingers? Wow, you really are anglicized.
Because I think this just looks like a little kid.
Yeah, it
looks
weird.
like I'm going to hit you or something. I mean, I'm going to break my thumb that way, but this way it just looks like I'm going to punch you.
Yeah, it looks like a bad punch because you got your thumb in there. Like, what are you going to do? It fits to the saying, like, ich drücke dir die Daumen, and Germans often do it at the same time. So if a German does that without saying anything, then they're wishing you luck.
And then Germans, if they want to be very funny, which I also sometimes do,
German humor. You got to love. It's like dad humor, but in a foreign language.
Ich drücke dir die Daumen und die Zehen gleich mit. And I also press my toes, which is impossible, but isn't it funny?
I'm laughing, but not necessarily because of the joke, Nina. Okay, but good to know that someone might try a weird joke.
Also press your
you Germans are
toes.
funny. You're funny.
Well, we're such famously funny.
What did surprise me in the beginning as well. So it's one thing drücken die Daumen, but when I had exams very early on in my time in Germany and I was working, they would go, like, everyone knew that I was going off to write an exam in the afternoon because I had the half a day off and stuff. And they would all come up to me and go, toy, toy, toy. And I was like, what the hell is toy, toy, toy? Yeah, so maybe you can explain what it means when Germans say toy, toy, toy.
Well, it means good luck, like break a leg, or in German words, Hals- und Beinbruch. And it's weird because I also think Germans are the only one who use these sounds, toy, toy, toy.
Well, you say that, but so we discussed this. This is one of the things that we discussed on that episode of our podcast. I looked it up afterwards and I read that there are other countries that also, or other languages that also say toy, 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 and that it might not have a German origin.
Did you, because for this podcast, I looked up why we say toy, toy, toy.
Okay.
You know where it comes. There's theories. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
So one theory is it imitates the sound you do when spitting, and you know that earlier, I know that some people did this like ages ago, but you spit over your shoulder 3 times. So it sounds like toy, toy, toy.
Okay.
And then another theory, I mean, this is Wikipedia knowledge, so might not be
of course
profound knowledge.
Fact checked and everything.
Knowledge. Another one is that it kind of like, the German word for devil is Teufel. And that it's like a warning, like beware, keep away. Which
came from like saying the Teufel, the word Teufel 3 times, that would go like toy, toy, Teufel or something like that. I also read that potential thing, But who knows? Yeah, if it's on Wikipedia, it must be right.
And then, I mean, there's another Wikipedia thing. It doesn't say on Wikipedia, it's a theory, but they also mentioned that it's like the Yiddish word, kind of like similar, like tof, mazel tov, like tof.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but who knows?
So who knows where it comes from?
Yiddish is like, I don't want to say German origin, but like the Germanic Jew. I don't know what, like, I'm bad at this, but Yiddish was spoken in Germany and it has like,
it's got a lot of vocabulary.
Words, they use German words. Yeah.
I was surprised when I heard it, like how similar a lot of the words were.
There's words we use every day from Yiddish. Knast.
Okay. A lot of Yiddish words in German. Interesting.
Not a lot, but there's more than I thought.
Yeah. And I also read
those are the things I read on Wikipedia.
Yeah. And I also read that people might say toy, toy, toy in English-speaking countries, which blew my mind, quite frankly, because I don't know whether it's just in South Africa, but I've never heard it. I've never seen it spoken on American TV shows.
No.
Or
I mean, I had American in my house.
And I'm pretty sure that
he says it, but he says it because he knows it from Germany.
Yeah.
Oh, and then don't get confused. There's like what do you call mobile toilets? Portaloos? No, what are they called?
Dixie claws in German, but they're called
Portable toilets.
Portaloos.
Portaloos, yeah, that was the word. Yeah. There is a German brand of Portaloos called Toy Toy.
Yeah, I've seen those. That's not what people are talking about when they say toy. They're not like discussing a Portaloo.
Good luck. Hopefully it will not stink as much as you expected.
So, and then another one of these that I liked that you brought up was when you're driving, and I've actually seen it. I've never used it myself, but I've seen it used, maybe at me, who knows. But so just explain the gesture. So it's basically like in front of your forehead, waving your hand, and usually accompanied or might be accompanied with the phrase, Bist bescheuert?
Yeah.
So Bist bescheuert means, are you daft or are you crazy or something like that, or are you stupid, I guess is what that means.
And it's like, can I swear on your podcast?
You can, it's explicit.
Okay. It like, Bist du bescheuert really is like, are you fucking stupid?
Yes. So
it's not really... like, are you a little stupid? It's like, are you dumb? Yeah. I'm asking you, like, did God give you a brain?
So, yeah. And if they don't say it, you just kind of wave your hand.
I just go like...
So for those not watching the video, you face the palm towards your face and then you kind of wave it in front of your forehead.
It's like a windshield wiper for your face.
Windshield wiper, yeah. Windshield wiper for your face. So that's the gesture. And that if someone's doing that when they're talking about someone, they're like, because I've also seen Germans when they're talking about someone who did something stupid, they're like, und dann die haben so gemacht, and then they did something really dumb, but they like make that gesture at the same time. So that's what they mean.
Even let's say we talk about Corona regulations and I just talk about a regulation. I think it's stupid. I will not even mention it's stupid. Yeah. I'll be just like, and then there's an Ausgangssperre and I'll do while I talk, I do like, I don't mention, I think it's stupid. I'll just do the motion and everyone around me knows like, I disagree with this.
I love that you did that exactly. That is exactly what would confuse a foreigner when they're talking to a German, because they don't get that gesture. Like if they don't know, it looks like you're just waving your hand around. And they don't
talking with my hand, but I'm not talking with my hand. I'm like saying like this stupid Corona measure. I'm like,
but like you said, you will not necessarily say it in your words.
No.
You would just say, so this new measure that's doing this, where they're saying you've got to like have an Ausgangssperre. You're actually saying that's stupid.
10,
but you might not get that context if you're a foreigner. So that is very interesting, and that's why I wanted to talk about it on this podcast, Nina, because it's
and you actually mentioned another hand gesture to me that I completely forgot we do.
What's that? Oh yes. So Nina, like what I'm doing is I've got my finger here and I'm rubbing the other one on it, and I've seen Germans do this. And
that sounds wrong.
Sounds like this is a whole different kind of podcast. I'm holding
explicit. I'm sorry.
I'm holding my finger and I'm stroking. I'm gently rubbing the other one along it. Yeah, so hopefully you can see the video. Ooh, he's getting a little
exciting.
Yeah, we're just getting started, folks. No, so what does that mean when I see that? Because to this day I don't know.
I forgot that it's a thing because I used it when I was like little. Like this is a very typical gesture that kids do.
Okay.
And it's to express Schadenfreude, which doesn't exist in English, like when you're happy about the misfortune of another person.
Is that when you do that? That's when you would do that?
It's kind of like the selber Schuld thing again.
Okay.
Like you tell me something and I go like this, I'm like, ha ha ha. Let's say one of my friends tells me a drunk story. How he didn't get the girl because he puked on her after I already told him don't drink more. And the next day we meet up for our like hangover breakfast, lunch, brunch, wherever. And he tells me like I didn't take her home because you were right. I puked on her, and I'm like, yeah, it's Schadenfreude. It's to express I'm happy about his misfortune.
So, okay, or you could be talking about someone who did you wrong, or that annoyed you, that finally got like what's coming to them, or something like that.
No, I would only do it if the person it happened to
is there, and you were like
is there, and then I like yeah.
So
I wouldn't do it when just talking about somebody.
Would it be appropriate to do it for my kid if I tell them don't touch the fireplace, and then they touch
they
the
burn
fireplace and they burn
themselves.
themselves, and then I'm like the best father in the world?
Or you will be a great father.
Yes, I am already a great father.
You shouldn't say this too loud. I think we're Germans. The Jugendamt might get called.
Yes, I'm sure that now that you've said the Jugendamt word on this podcast, that like there's little alarm bells going off all over the place. So that is very good to know that you could actually.
Yeah, and like I actually would only use it if the person can see me doing it.
Okay, so you wouldn't do it.
It's not terribly, like it's not vulgar to do it. It just expresses you're happy at their unhappiness.
Okay. See, it's those little nuggets, Nina. That's why we have you on.
Oh, thank you.
And then it's sticking with the gestures. Something that confused me a lot, and this was also with my first manager. She confused me. My very first manager in Germany.
Maybe she was just confusing because it was your first job in Germany.
That's exactly why. And I had I think a lot of contact with her. But she did a lot of these things. So one of the things that she would do is if she was talking about something, she would pull on the side of her eye. But she would pull it right down, and she would look at me going like that while she's pulling on her eye. And yeah, maybe you just give us an explanation of what it means.
Again, something that underlines. Okay, it means what I'm saying is not true. Like, I'm saying this, but it's a lot like not even a white
which is confusing to foreigners. I'm just going to say that again.
Yes.
Germans don't even know they do these things, and it's confusing to us because we're taking your words, which is all we have to go on, and not realizing that means something.
I didn't know when we talked about this, and you said she was pulling her eye. I'm like, she was pulling. What do you mean she was pulling her eye? But then you talked to me about the situation where she was like, "Yeah, we work until 4:00 on Fridays, right?"
Yeah, exactly.
And she does this gesture.
That kind of thing.
I was like, "Oh, okay, now I know what you mean." So basically, yeah, like I said, it negates what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, because I'm a millionaire, right, Sean? Yeah. I'm not, and you'll know by me doing this gesture.
If you're German.
Again, it's not something I will not be like. I probably change my intonation for this irony I'm using.
Right.
But I'm not telling you I'm using irony except for changing my tone and doing this weird eye pulling thing.
Yeah. What's even more confusing is if Germans do that in English, because I've had Germans do that in English to me. They're speaking English and then they say something that's not that, they're being sarcastic about something and they do that eye gesture. And of course, now I've learned what it means. Like I know, I figured it out after a few times of seeing it. Like, no, okay, she's saying something else. But they do it even when speaking to English people because you just assume, and it's not. I don't even think it's a conscious assumption. You just assume that people know what you mean when you do that. Then to get back to the things that Germans say, one of the things that I don't know whether I love it or hate it, Nina, but it's a very non-committal answer from Germans.
Oh.
When you ask them something that's maybe not exactly accurate, they'll go, Jein. Which is a combination of ja und nein.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. So,
Ness.
Ness. But they always say it with the same tone, like jein, and then follow it up with an explanation of why you're incorrect.
Yep.
Pretty straightforward.
So what you're talking about is you're asking me for confirmation of something, and about 70% of what you say, maybe even 60% of what you say is correct, but the other 40% are not.
Yes.
So I don't want to tell you you're wrong because you're not wrong. You just don't have the full picture.
You're not quite hitting it, or you're missing the context.
You're not
or something.
there yet, but I'll get you there.
Okay.
And that's when I'll use the Jein, and then I keep on explaining.
Okay.
But you can also use it without explanation. Like if you would ask me, "Are you German?" and I'll be like, "Jein." Yes, but no.
Just carry on walking.
And then I would wait. Especially you do this if you're annoyed by a person and just go away. You're asking too much, or you don't need to know this. But I don't want to be rude, so I say Jein.
Okay. Yeah, do you not feel like a German, Nina?
Jein. No.
That was actually not a setup for you to use that, but it's an excellent example.
No, I do, but I don't. Every time I go outside, like I leave Germany, I feel very German. Every time I'm in Germany dealing
don't.
with Germans, I'm like, I'm not part of this. No, no.
But anyway,
this is
because
not.
but you're very, you do feel international, and I think that I didn't realize you were German even when we first met, because you just have a very international air about you. Your aura is very international, but you're also a friend to international people, as we've always said. Like I think we said it in the Faschings episode. There's always like people from other countries sleeping on your sofa, and you're
life's boring, so
a friend of the foreigners.
Meet other people.
Yeah, if you're foreign, phone Nina.
Phone me. I'm gonna help you.
So we don't have. I think we've got one more left to get to, Nina.
Ooh.
And the one, unless you've got something that you want to bring up, but the one that I that's also surprised me when I was first here. I was sitting in a meeting room at work. I think there was about 20 of us in the boardroom. Someone was giving a presentation that they'd obviously worked very hard on, and it must have been groundbreaking. I don't know. Back then I couldn't understand a lot of German, so I guess I was just sitting in meetings, nodding and smiling. And then it got to the end. And instead of applauding or just going, as I like in South Africa, we would just go, "Oh, it was a nice presentation. Thanks for that." The Germans knock on the table, but all of them at the same time. So it's just like this rapturous knocking sound as people bang on the tables.
And we also discussed this on our podcast.
Yes, we did.
I didn't know this until I entered university. Like this was a completely unknown German habit for me. And I think it probably comes from academia because, like I said, like none of the non-academic people I know and I grew up with ever did this.
Right.
But I go into my first university lecture and then I don't even know why you clap. This is like Germans, when the pilot lands an airplane, which is his job, they clap. No, he gets paid for this. He's supposed to bring me here safe and sound. Yeah. I don't clap for a bus driver. So why would I clap for a pilot or a professor? Right. He gets paid for delivering this lecture. Right. But no, they don't even clap. They knock on the table. And I'm like,
what is going on here?
I guess I'll do it as well.
I'll knock with. That's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. Everyone's doing it. I don't know what it means. Like, are they going to be serving the food now?
And then it happened again, and it happened again. And I mean, it was pretty obvious that it was like,
applauding.
The synonym of applause.
Yeah.
I still don't know why.
Yeah. I don't know why. I didn't look it up either. I keep forgetting to look it up. It's something I need to look up at some point. But
and I mean, like after a presentation, it makes a little more sense because like the person prepared the presentation, they did a good job presenting the effect. So I would applaud for a presentation, but why would you knock after a like you don't do it in school. You don't applaud your teacher. Why would I applaud my professor?
That's what they're there for.
Paid more than my teacher, my poor teacher.
Teacher needs more of applause.
But so I was with you on this. I guess it's German. I've never seen it while studying abroad.
And I actually don't know if other cultures do. This is something I didn't think of. Is I wonder if other cultures do it.
I mean, I went to university in Germany, the United States and Mexico, and Germany. I mean, this is only 3 out of 198 countries in the world. Germany was the only one.
Right. That knocked out of those ones. Yeah. Well, I think that's a good start. We should work on finding out if we can get to see more of the world and figure out if they knock on the table.
But I was with you on this. I'm like, what is going on here? But they do it. They do it. Like I say, it's like Germans clapping on an airplane. No, they get paid for it. No.
All right. Well,
no one applauds me after 8 hours of work.
No, I write blogs all the time and I don't get a single applause. I get nasty messages and comments. Well, Nina, this was very useful. I think we'd have to do a second part because there's so much that we'd speak about that people understand what's going on and like what people do. But also, you wanted to say something.
Yeah. Maybe your listeners have like some things we too didn't think about and we could discuss them in our other podcast as well.
Yes. If you're watching on YouTube, put them in the comments below. If you are listening to the podcast, write me an email at info@thegermanyexperience.de and I'll ask Nina very nicely if she'll come on again to explain and answer your questions. And what I can say is if you want to hear more of Nina and I talking in German and hear how bad my German really is, then
it's not bad.
It's not. No, you called my German süß, which means cute,
süß.
Which is not exactly a compliment for someone who's speaking a foreign language. Anyway, yes, go and listen to Die Deutsche und der Ausländer. I have a lot of fun with those conversations with you.
I do too.
Yes, it's a lot of fun.
I like meeting up weekly.
Yes, it gives us a reason to chat to each other.
Yes.
Finally. Otherwise, we just never talk. You're impossible to get hold of on WhatsApp. Impossible.
That's on WhatsApp, yeah. But we already talked about this on one of your other episodes.
I'm just reinforcing the knowledge that it's.
You're shaming me.
I'm shaming you publicly. Nina, thank you very much for joining me. It was a lot of fun as always.
Thank you, Sean, for having me again.
Thank you for listening. You can check out the podcast that Nina and I have together in German called Die Deutsche und der Ausländer. Links are in the show notes, of course. Music in this episode by my band 10 Cent Jains. Additional music by Ryan Anderson. Until the end. This is the end. Thanks for listening. Stay healthy. Auf Wiederhören.